Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
And the lights get up, slow motion, I freeze, you watch me up. Sample me, reduce me to somebody. Hear me, no don't you, just nod your head. Don't try to change it, I said what I said. Hit you with a playback, I said what I said. Look what I did.
I just wanted to moisturize before I begin. Pero sí, pero sí. So today, child. Honey. I'm just being weird right now. But I'm gonna stop real quick because I'm wasting time. And this is how my videos turn out to be so long. Pero sí, que lo que me thing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So today I want to talk about this one person. Something came up recently and I just remembered that this person exists, right? Because I forgot about everybody I went to school with. I don't really like talk to a lot of those people. So anywho, I was talking to somebody who's been rocking with me. You know who you are, girl. And I was like, you know what? Like that person is, I could talk about this person, the experiences that I had with this person in like 3 different videos because it was just too much. But in this particular one, I just want to talk about this boy who bullied me in the 7th grade, and then the following year asked me for news and asked me to do some sexual things with him. And I don't understand how that makes sense or made sense in his mind, but yes, this legit happened and I was very surprised. So anywho, it was 7th grade. I was 11 going on 12 at the time. I believe that the year was 2010 when I was in the 7th grade. It was 2010 or it was 2011. It was probably 2010, 2011, like that school year. So anywho, I had just moved to another side of the town, and at this point I was going to a predominantly white school. I almost said all white, but because it was damn near all white, but all right, I would just say it was it was predominantly white. So there were some black kids there, obviously, but we were like very few and far between. Like in the hallways, it was just a sea of white kids, and then every once in a while I would see a brown skinned person. So on my first day of 7th grade, I'm not gonna lie, it was a very horrible day for me. I will never forget this day because I just had a really hard time, you know. I don't know why these people in particular chose to point me out of all people. I don't know, but maybe it's because I was new. I don't know. Maybe I have a sign that's invisible to me but very visible to other people that says pick at me, because in the 6th grade I was excessively bullied by, you know, this one girl in particular, and then like whatever else. And then it seemed like as soon as I got into this new school, there was now like a new negative entity that was assigned to me. The boy wasn't actually the main bully for me. He just decided to join in. There were 2 girls who were bullying me. I'm not going to talk about all of that because that's a whole separate video. But yes, we were all in our homeroom class together on the first day, and one girl sat next to me, and then at some point, I guess towards the end of the class period, she went to go sit with this other girl that was her only friend, I guess, in the classroom. The boy, the African boy, I specifically am referring to him as the African boy. I will connect that all later on. But the African boy was sitting behind them. At some point, I guess he was, I overheard him saying, you know, like, what are you guys talking about? Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? When they were talking pura mierda about me, hablando pura mierda sobre mí. So, at some point, I guess, during that class period, they started talking stuff about me to him. So, I think it was probably just 2 class periods later, and the day had just begun, by the way. They were already bullying me for some reason. So just a few class periods later, I was in the hallway and I was heading back or to another class, like in one wing of the school. I guess he was coming from that wing, so we crossed paths. Mind you, I don't even know his name, but he saw me and he decided to repeat what they said to me. But he this is why I say he bullied me. He didn't come up to me and say, oh, so and so is talking about you, or so and so is saying this. He just repeated what they said about me, or tried to like embarrass me in front of other people. So there were these flats back then. I don't know, I forget what the brand is because I didn't have them. I think the brand was like Tom's or something like that. It was like the flats that have like a few crosses or whatever, and like the fabric is overlapping, and then there's like a little triangle at the like top of the flat that where your skin is showing. I don't know. If I could find a picture, I'll throw it in there. I just don't remember what they're called. But say the flats were called Toms, right? He would be like, are those, he would say something to me like, are those Toms or are those Foms? You know, like another example. A lot of the kids who couldn't afford to buy Uggs would buy Bear Paw or Bear Claw or whatever the cheap knockoff version of Uggs is. So he would say to me, are those Fugs or are those Uggs? In front of a group of people, just to try to get a reaction out of them. And he did this every single time he saw me. He did this to me all day on my first day. And I genuinely didn't even know his name, so I didn't understand what his beef with me was. But the thing I remember specifically was he kept making fun of my face. So later on that day, he saw me and he said to me, do you not know what proactive is, or can you just not afford it? And I didn't even say anything to him because I just didn't know what I honestly like was so taken aback. I didn't understand why he was being so mean, but it was embarrassing, of course. Like all the kids are like sitting right there, they're listening, they can hear him. Some of the boys that know him are laughing, and I'm new, so I don't even have at this point any friends to turn to, anyone to talk to. Like I'm just, again, just so confused because I don't know why he's making fun of me, and he's making fun of everything. Like during this day, he made fun of my clothes, he made fun of my shoes, and I don't know, he acted like I personally did something to him before the school day began. Towards the end of the day, like I think the last time he saw me, he asked me if I wanted him to just buy the proactive for me. And I'm like, bro, why do you keep pushing proactive down my throat? Like, I don't want proactive. Like, I don't know you. Like, I was just kind of like, bro, if you don't pause, okay, like pause. I was like, please stop. Like, this is so weird, you know? So that was like the first day. Now, the reason I think that the bullying died down is because I did go to the principal's office and I did explain to the assistant principal that I spoke to that these two girls were bullying me and had a comrade, you know, in the process, like doing it too. So I think I shut that shit down. And he just didn't talk to me that much. Like he kind of just stayed away and whatnot. But then, you know, we ended up having another class together in 8th grade. We had Spanish class together. And I specifically remember his attitude changing towards me once we were in 8th grade. Now, what I later on learned is that over the course of the summer between 7th grade and 8th grade, I had developed to the point where it was noticeable. So all of a sudden I had tetas, and you know, they were all like round and whatnot. Like when you're going through puberty, all of a sudden my curves were just more visible. So when he would see me in the hallway in 8th grade, the African boy would be like, one time, I kid you not, I was leaving the school, he was coming up the stairs with this girl. He saw me. I don't know who the girl was to him. I think she was just a friend or something, but he saw me and then he was like, damn, like you're looking so good, like you're looking curvy these days. And I remember I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about, but pause. I was just like, pause. I was like, please get the fuck out of my face, please, because you're so grimy to me. Like, I will never forget the way he treated me when he first met me. How they treat you when they first meet you. Okay, pay attention to that, okay? Because trust and believe that they count on you forgetting how they treated you on the first day. Mm-hmm. So anywho, he was like, you're looking so curvy and stuff, and I just played it off like I didn't know what he was talking about. I really didn't know what he was talking about because I didn't see it for myself at the time. But I remember he put his hands on my hips. Anywho, he was like, it's like this. This is how you're filling out. This is how your body looks. And he asked the girl if he was just making it up. He was like, please tell her because she doesn't understand how curvy she is. That was so weird to me. I just remember that because he touched me, and I don't do too well with strangers touching me, so I physically like repulsed inside when that happened. Because again, I just remember like just last year you were being grimy and disrespectful towards me. So that was just one incident in 8th grade before he actually asked me for nudes and stuff. So another time, 8th grade, we were in our classroom, and this boy that would just, I guess you could say, flirt with me. He would flirt with everybody, so it didn't really count. But this was a boy who, like, in private also asked me when I was gonna let him hit, and like if weird shit. Like, honestly, I think I talked about this briefly in another video. When I think about it, the black boys at this school were just on some grimy stuff. Like, I had 3 different black boys at that school ask me for sex, ask me for, like, and I'm like, I'm not that girl, and I know y'all could tell I'm not that girl. Like, I was okay with these boys thinking I was stuck up or a black girl who didn't think she was black or whatever they wanted to call me, because it meant that that attitude protected me from them thinking I was so easy. I felt so disrespected when they would come out of their classrooms, when they saw me in the hallway and ask me if we could make out, or ask me for my number. Like, just weird stuff like that. I just didn't understand why they couldn't just be normal kids and just say, hi, Starlini, how are you? Like, is it so hard? Mm-hmm. It's like the only way they knew how to interact with a girl that they thought was attractive was by alluding to us doing something sexual together. And I'm like, you're in 7th and 8th grade at the time. Like, you're too young to even be thinking like this and even trying to act on it. Who's trying to get pregnant in 8th grade? Not I. Mm-hmm. But anywho, so now I'll get into the actual thing. So this boy, he got my number from some girl that was my friend. I'm not friends with the girl who gave it to him. I don't even remember her name, but he told me that she gave him my number because he told her that he just needed to ask me a question about something in class. He acknowledged that that was just a lie and that he just lied to the girl to ask me what he really wanted. So anywho, by the way, I didn't even have like a phone. When I was in 8th grade towards the end, my sister found a phone and she gave me her old one. We didn't have, like money like that. So I think she was using Wi-Fi to text people. She was using like a texting app, and I figured out that there was such a thing. So I downloaded the texting app so I could text my friends. I also put them on and told them, if you have the Wi-Fi, girl, get the Wi-Fi and download the texting app so we could talk to each other. So that's how I even had a number to begin with. So he got that number from the girl. One day, it's just like an evening towards the end of 8th grade, and he asked me, he texted me, he said, hey, Star, and I don't know you like that, so don't call me Star. My name is Starlini. I don't know you. So he's like, hey, Star, this is such and such. This is the African boy. And I'm like, okay. Like, just okay. Like, I don't understand why you're texting me. And then he proceeds to tell me he got my number from the girl, and that's why he's just texting me. And then he told me, he asked me how I was doing. He asked me, like, if I wanted to hang out sometime. And then he proceeded with another message to say that he has been liking me, or he kind of likes me or whatever. And he's just wondering, literally, I'm just wondering if you would let me feel your boobs sometime, because they're so perky and they've grown so much. You're so curvy. Your body is so such and such. I'm just wondering if that's something you would let me do. And I just didn't understand, like, why he would even text me something like that. Like, what do I look, sir? Get de pasa, wait. What's wrong with you? I'm like, what's wrong with you? Truly and respectfully, what's wrong with you? Why would you ever text somebody that? Why would you even ask me that? We're not friends. I don't know you, and I don't like you, quite frankly. And he knew that I didn't like him because I steered clear of him. I steered clear of him. When he sat in those classrooms and made jokes about him being too black, that, like, he would say, oh, don't turn off the lights. He would tell the teacher when she needed to use the Promethean board, don't turn off the lights. Like, I'm too dark. Like, I will only be able to see my eyes and my teeth. He perpetuated so many stereotypes about black people in front of the white kids at our school to make them laugh and to make himself fit in. He only fit in with these white kids because he constantly picked at himself and his blackness. He disliked himself so much that his only way of being able to fit in with people was by putting himself down. That is so unattractive. That is repulsive, actually. And I was just on to the game. Like, I just knew that he was a self-loathing black kid like all the other kids at that school. And he was also one of the, just like a lot of the other black kids, he was just one of those who only wanted to talk to the black girls behind closed doors. The only time I ever really saw him talking to, like, the brown skinned girls at my school was when there were no white girls around. When he finally was finished with his conversation with, like, one of the white girls, that's when he would see, like, a black girl and be like, oh, hey girl, da, 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 like, get the fuck out of my face. I saw straight through it. And this kid would, like, make lists online. Like, there was this platform called Ask FM, right? Ask.fm. And I don't know if that's still around today, but when I was in 8th grade and freshman year of high school, that was a thing that began to circulate on Facebook. So he had Ask FM. Like, I had one just to talk to my friends and whatnot because I wasn't allowed to hang out with them. So I just strictly talked to them over the phone and on the internet. And I remember he would make these lists on Ask FM. Like, somebody would ask him, oh, who are the top 5, best bodies, or girls with the best bodies in our school. And he would always put these same 3 white girls at the top, and then he would put me and my friend at the bottom. And it didn't matter what kind of list, like, who has the best body, who are the top prettiest girls. And he would always put those 3 girls at the top. And then, I guess, just to make himself look like he didn't hate black people, he would throw me and the other girl that was my friend on the list too. And I'm like, no, you can keep you can keep my name out of your mouth. You can keep my name off your list. I'm not flattered. Mm-hmm. I'm not flattered by you using me or thinking of me as some kind of pick me to make you not look so questionable. Me and my friend, we see right through it. We know what type of time you're on. We have been introduced to so many black boys like you. So you're not hurting my feelings. You don't need to add me at all. Like, I was so repulsed by this boy. And I did not talk to him when we got into high school. He was in the same college readiness program as me, so I did have to keep seeing him. But we weren't in the same class. Like, we didn't have the same teacher or instructor for the program. The only time we would see each other is when we all had these, like, big meetings once a week or so. So I did see him every once in a while. He would play like he, wasn't really noticing me or whatever. And then one time, my senior or my junior year of high school, he saw me walking in the hallway with one of my friends from back then and at that same school. I noticed him and I was just talking to my friend. Like, we just kept walking and stuff. And he was coming down the hall. He literally got in my path. He walked straight towards me and just took his arms and not picked me up, but like put his arms around me and squeezed me. And he didn't say nothing to me. He literally did not say nothing to me. This boy was so weird. And you know what? He's lucky that I was really shy about being rude to people, because I can be just like everybody. We can all be super assertive in a way that makes us look like we're really angry and bitter and whatever the fuck else. And I was just not trying to come off like that to people. So even when I didn't appreciate him touching me, I didn't snap at him or show him like the anger that I had inside or the resentment that I had inside towards him, especially for the way he treated me in 7th grade, and the fact that he seemed to just not realize that he had a severe issue with overstepping his boundaries. You know, like I said, he would make these lists about the most succulent girls in our school, and he was very perverted. When I think back to it, he was very perverted for his age, and just too perverted for my liking in general. And he just, it was, I don't understand how all those white girls were constantly like, I didn't get that shit. I just didn't get it, because I'm looking like he's repulsive, like he has a problem with touching people. Like I say, he outlined my curves on my hips for me, like I really needed that brought to my attention at the time. And then all these years later, like just kind of gave me this super aggressive and intimate hug in front of everybody. And my friend afterwards was like, girl, what the hell was that about? I said, girl, I don't know what the hell that was about. I said, I don't know what the hell this man is touching me for. I don't know. It was just so bizarre. And I think he gave me that hug probably because he never acknowledged that he was a weird person towards me and he was rude towards me when we first met. And I don't know, maybe that was just on his conscience. Maybe somebody told him something about me. I was a performer at the time. Like I did poetry my sophomore, junior, and senior year of high school. And I did perform in front of our school some pretty, truthful poems about my life and the struggles that I had. And I think that I know that people felt bad for me. I think that he may have heard one of those poems or seen a video of me performing, and then I don't know, maybe he felt bad for calling me whatever he called me back then and making fun of me and asking me if I wanted proactive and all that kind of stuff. But he never told me. He just hugged me and walked away, and I never talked to him, because if I don't got nothing to say to you, I don't got nothing to say to you. I just don't. Like, anybody I have anything to say to is still in my life. If you're not in my life, we don't got nothing to talk about. Especially if you're not going to initiate what you got to say first, because I don't got nothing to say. I'm good. I'm good on that. But yes, that was the time that he asked me, I guess you could say, I don't know if he really asked me for nudes. I think he asked me if he could feel them and then asked for a picture, but his main objective was to actually feel them in person. But of course, I said, excuse me, I don't know about all that. And I never texted him back because I just thought he was weird. And I wanted to be removed from him. But at the same time, I wasn't trying to come off like a disrespectful ass little cunt bucket. But you know what? That was part of my problem. Because what I would say to any young girl today is, like, when somebody is wanting to violate you or talking about violating you, don't worry about you coming across as some type of bitch. Don't worry about you coming across as a too assertive and all that kind of stuff. You need to come across like that, because if you don't, they will do stuff to you and say that you wanted it. They will do stuff to you and assume that you like it, because you don't say no, and you're not aggressive about it. You have to be aggressive and assertive about it. I learned that, and I'm definitely much better now about speaking up for myself and whatnot. But yes, that was just like a weird experience I had, and I don't know. These boys out here, huh? These boys. Honestly, on that note, I don't got nothing else to say, because if I say anything else, it's going to be disrespectful. This is going to be real disrespectful. And, I'm past it. I just remembered it and I wanted to share it, because if you're a girl and you find yourself in those positions, say no. I had a friend who some boy wanted to send her nudes. He sent her the nudes and she was stupid at the time. So she sent them to somebody else and she got in a lot of trouble for sending those pictures to somebody else. When I say a lot of trouble, I mean she got into a lot of trouble with the law, like doing community service and everything. So don't get caught up with all this BS with these boys. You know, if they're talking about getting pictures from you, say no. If they're asking if they can do all this kind of stuff to you, say no, especially if it's over text, because you can use that to your advantage one day. You can have it like shown for the record that you did say no to, and that you were not interested in any of his advances towards you. Pero sí, on that note, I would just say, tata mi amores, take care.
Gonna give you this mic back. But what I'm gonna say to the ladies that been told that you cannot have, you tell the devil you's a liar.